So part 4, oxidation versus reduction. So oxidation involves the loss of one or more electrons. Whenever you lose electrons, then the oxidation number should increase. What that means is it becomes more positive. An oxidation number and a charge are similar to each other. We'll be talking about them more during the year. Reduction is the gain of one or more electrons. When you gain electrons, the oxidation number should decrease. In other words, it will become more negative. Two ways to remember that oxidation is loss or reduction is gain is Leo says GR. Leo stands for loss of electrons, is oxidation. So Leo, loss of electrons, oxidation, while gain of electrons is reduction. So GR, gain electrons, reduction. Or if you don't want to say Leo says GR, you could go with oil rig. Oil rig stands for oxidation is loss. Reduction is gain. So oil rig, oxidation is loss, reduction is gain. Or Leo says GR, loss of electrons, oxidation, gain of electrons, reduction. So for our purposes right now, our oxidation number and charge are going to be the same thing. So in the first problem, notice magnesium does not have a charge to start with, so that's a 0. So it goes from a 0 to +2. That became more positive. When it becomes more positive, then that means we lost one or more electrons because electrons are negative. So to become more positive, we have to lose them. So we lost electrons, and loss is oxidation. So look at the next one. We go from a +4 to a -2. So that means we became more negative. More negative means we gained electrons. Because electrons are negative, when you gain them, the charge becomes more negative. And if we gain electrons, then that's reduction. One more together. On number 3, we go from a +2 to a +3. So that means we became more positive or that we lost electrons. If we lose electrons, that's oxidation. Go ahead and pause the video and try 4 through 10 on your own. Restart when you have the answers. So on 4, we went from +4 to +2. We became more negative. More negative is gain of electrons. And gain of electrons is reduction. Number 5, we went from a 0 to a -1. So it became more negative. And if it became more negative, then that means we gained electrons. And again, gain of electrons is reduction. A +3 to a +5, that's becoming more positive, so we must have lost some electrons. And losing electrons is oxidation. A +2 to a -2 means we became more negative, which means we gained some negative electrons. And oil rig, gaining is reduction. On number 8, we went from no charge to a +1. That's more positive, which means we lost electrons. And oil, oxidation is lost. On 9, we went from -3 to -1. That's more positive, so we must have lost some electrons to go from a -3 to -1. Which is also oxidation. And the final one, we went from a +2 to a 0, which means we became more negative, or that we gained electrons. And gaining electrons is reduction.